One of the things I feel like people don't talk about a lot is all the free time you have after getting laid off. For 40 hours of the week, we are literally working. We are literally spending 8 hours each day working from morning till evening, and that's our life. And that's been our lives for years, and that's the lives of many of us. And so when that job goes away, all of a sudden you are left with 40 hours of unused time that you can do whatever you want with. I think if you want to fully utilize that time and fully embrace the free time you have to have discipline and you have to have structure. And I think that's something that people don't really talk about or even discuss when it comes to being laid off. Hi everyone, my name is Victoria and this is my channel, Lovely Tori. Thanks so much for watching. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and share with friends and family. So I was recently laid off about a month ago from my corporate 9-to-5 job. It was very sudden, didn't really expect it. To be honest, there was some writing on the wall, but I was very optimistic. I was like, surely I'm gonna keep my job, but that's not how things played out. And I remember right after the weekend, the first weekend of being laid off and just kind of letting all that sink in, that like, this is, you're transitioning, or you're gonna be looking for new employment. I realized that, hey, you don't have to go to work for a while. And I think I had in the back of my mind that I was going to go ahead and start doing all these things that I've been wanting to do. I was going to learn a new instrument. I was going to pick up a new hobby. I was going to dance more. I was going to film more videos, film more vlogs. I was going to edit more, be more creative. I was going to read all these books and just spend my days just doing things that I've always wanted to do. And that honestly has not really happened the way I believed it would. Honestly, the first few weeks of being laid off, I slept in. Like normally I would have to be on the computer by 9 o'clock or have to be logged in by 9. But lately I've just been staying in bed till like 11:30. Then I would get up, make some coffee, maybe watch some YouTube, watch some Netflix, make some lunch, take a nap, wake up. I like to play games, so I would spend a lot of hours playing video games, and then that would be my day. I did start off by going to the gym because I do love going to the gym. So I did incorporate some of that, just going to the gym every day, getting some movement in because I knew that was important. But other than that, I hadn't really significantly changed my routine. And I think what's interesting is that there is a level, at least what I'm realizing, is that there is a level of discipline you actually have to have when you don't have a job or when you're in between jobs. And I feel like that's something I don't hear a lot of people talk about, or I don't hear a lot of people discuss, is like, hey, when you suddenly have 40 hours of free time in your week, you have to have a plan of what you're going to do. Because I think it's easy to gravitate towards lying around, or I think it's easy to gravitate towards lazing around. It's easy to gravitate towards just watching Netflix all day. It's easy to gravitate towards not really doing anything. I mean, I haven't even really cleaned like the way I thought I would. And it's so interesting because I feel like lots of times we talk about like, oh, if I just had more time, I could get all these things done. And that is true. I mean, more time is what we need, but it's ultimately up to us on how we use it. And just because you have more time doesn't automatically mean the things you want to do are going to get done, right? So there has to be a level of discipline. And I'm realizing that you really do have to set goals for yourself if you want to utilize the time that you have. I want to get another job very quickly because, I was blessed to have severance, but that's not going to last very long. It's not going to last forever. So, time is ticking to an extent. And so I want to be employed sooner than later, but I also want to utilize the free time that I have, because I feel like being laid off is a bit of a blessing in disguise because now you have time to actually dedicate time to things you've always wanted to do, like hobbies or, just spending time with friends and family or just taking care of your health or cleaning and things like that. But like I was saying earlier, don't just think that it's going to happen automatically because the time is there. And because we're also so burnt out from working, I feel like it's easy to just say I'm gonna lie in bed for the majority of the day or I'm going to watch Netflix for the majority of the day. I'm gonna turn off my brain. But this is the time to really capitalize on taking care of those hobbies and doing things that you've always wanted to do. And so one thing that I'm trying to do now is set goals of like, hey, okay, goal number one is that you have to get out of bed by a certain time. Like I need to be out of bed no later than 10. Like 10 is the cutoff. If you like, you need to be out of bed by 10, regardless. You need to be either taking a shower or, freshening up, changing your clothes, all the things, which leads me to goal number two is that getting dressed every day. Like I am now making myself get dressed into actual clothes every day. I cannot stay in pajamas. No, I got to put on like jeans and nice shirt, put on makeup, whatever to kickstart that day. Number three, I need to spend at least 1 hour doing a hobby a day, whether that is dancing or filming or, creating, or I don't know what it is, like learning a new language. I need to dedicate at least an hour to that. Also, I need to dedicate at least a couple hours to job searching as well. So making sure that I'm checking LinkedIn and the websites every day, looking at my resume, taking care of business, doing things to polish up my skills and stuff like that, reaching out to potential employers, networking, things like that. So that has to be done. I would say I need to dedicate at least 2 hours to that. And then once all of that is done, then I can allow myself to watch Netflix or to, take a nap or to, play the game or something like that. Because I feel like if I don't have those goals set, I can feel myself getting into a rut. And I feel like I would just sleep through this entire, period of being in between jobs. And I wake up and like, oh, you're employed. But it's like, dang, I didn't get a chance to do the things I thought I was going to get a chance to do. So that is just some of the reflections I've had. And I feel like I said before, I feel like people don't talk about that. I think a lot of people focus on job searching, which that's very important. But I feel like I don't really hear a lot of people talk about what it's like to actually be laid off in everyday life. I mean, obviously you're not going to be searching for jobs for 8 hours a day. Some people do. If you do that, that's amazing. But I feel like the majority of us probably wouldn't spend a full 8 hours just job searching. So, what do you do when you have 40 hours of your time freed up? I mean, for the first time in your adult life, you don't have anything to do. And then also on top of that, being single, I think also is another level of having all this free time. Because when you're married and you have kids, then of course there are things to still do. Obviously take the kids to school or, spend time with your partner or, taking care of responsibilities like that. That in itself, I think if you have a family and responsibilities, you're probably not wondering what to do. But as a single person with no responsibilities, no partner in sight, no kids, no real responsibilities, so quote unquote, pulling at you, what are you doing with that free time? Because our whole lives have been dictated to us, essentially. Even as when we were little kids, we had to go to school for 8 hours a day. Then we went to college and did all of that. Then we got jobs. And then now that's just how it is. And I feel like we don't really exist, or we're not used to existing as just doing life as we please. And so it's a real learning curve. So I'm curious to know if you were in the same boat, if you've been laid off, if you're single, if you don't have a lot of responsibilities, what has your life been like, and what are some of the things you do to keep your life disciplined and to keep yourself moving forward and making sure that you're not quote unquote wasting the time that you have. Now, I also do want to say there's nothing wrong with resting. If you've had a rough day, you do now have that benefit of being able to lie down in bed. If you need a couple of days to just chill, like I'm not trying to shame anybody for lying in bed or just watching Netflix or just chilling, but I also am trying to figure out, if we have goals and if we want to achieve things, how can we do that without leaning too much on the lazing about side? But anyway, that is the topic and discussion for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment below. Let me know your experience. If you liked this video, do not forget to subscribe, share with your friends and family, and stay tuned for next week's video. Hope you guys have a wonderful week. Stay healthy, stay happy, stay blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.